Hello everyone and welcome to Yarnscrossing. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet double crochet, and in the second part of the video how to put windows in them instead to add a little variation to your creations. So stay tuned and we're about to get started now. In the first part of the video I explain how to crochet double crochets. So you can make double crochet stitches on top of solid crochet stitches, or you can crochet stitches on top of stitches however you like it. And that's what I'm going to show you in the first part of the video. We've reached the end of our solid stitches in this case, and we now need not just one but 3 turn stitches for the double crochet. So you count like this: 1, 2, 3, and we have to work upwards for the time. Now we turn our crochet. The chain stitches here are the back for our first stitch. That's why we don't have to crochet a crochet stitch in the first one. Some people do it differently, but I learned it that way. So we go straight into the next stitch. To crochet a double crochet, we first have to go around the yarn once with the hook, so that we have an extra loop on the hook. Then go through the next solid stitch with the hook. Again, under both stitch links, so under this V here. We grab the yarn with the hook and bring it into the front. It might be a bit complicated at first, but it soon gets very easy. We now have 3 stitches on our hook. Now concentrate. We grab the yarn with the hook and pull it through the first 2 stitches with the hook. So, take 2 down. Not through all 3 at the same time. We have 2 loops left on our hook. We grab the yarn again and now pull it through the last 2 stitches. We now put our stitch of chain stitches back here and our first stitch of stitches into the solid stitch after it. One more time. We get the yarn with the hook, go with it through the solid stitch. Get the yarn from the back. We have 3 loops on the hook, so take off 2 and take off 2 again. Once more, yarn over, go through this tied stitch here, bring the thread through. We have 3 loops on the hook now. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops and then through the last 2 loops. I'll show this again very slow. Pull the yarn through the tied stitch. Bring the thread to the front, 3 loops on the hook and through the first 2 and through the last 2. Once more, pull the yarn, grab it with the hook, through the tied stitch, bring the thread from the back to the front, 2 loops, 3 loops on the hook, through the first 2 ones, and then the yarn through the last 2 ones. You've made your double crochet. I'll finish this row now and then we'll see each other at the end of the row to turn our work. We have now reached the end of the first row of stitches. And what happens now? Don't forget, we still have our last solid stitch here at the edge. So we have to crochet into these two. This is always a bit difficult at the edge because the last solid stitch tries to get quite tight and contracted, but the important thing here is to always make sure that you go under both stitch links again. We bring the yarn back to the front and have our 3 stitches on the hook again. Make the double crochet and off the last 2 stitches. We now work another row of double crochets. That means we need 3 chain stitches to turn our work. So 1, 2, and 3, we turn our work. Let's take a closer look at the double crochet. They look a little different from the solid stitches. From the top they are identical to this V's. We have to look at them from the side. We don't work in these big holes, but in the small hole at the top here, which is our solid stitch that sits on top of our small stitch. We have already crocheted this first one, which means we don't have to go in here, but we take the thread around, we go into this upper small hole. Again under both stitch links. Pick up the thread and we have our 3 loops on the hook again. So we form our double crochet and we close the chain. Once again, yarn over through this small hole here, this one, through, get the yarn, form the double crochet, and then close the chain. So, yarn over again, through the upper part of the stitch here, get the yarn, form the double crochet, and close the chain again. Fold the thread over through this upper stitch part here, fetch the thread from behind, form the double crochet, and close the chain. Again very slowly. So, we wrap the thread once with the hook. Through this upper stitch part here, the small hole here, under the V, pick up the thread from behind and bring it in front, form the double crochet and close the chain. Some repeats more, just look at it. I'll finish the row now and I will see you at the end. We have now reached the end. We've put the last stitch on top of here, of this one, and now I'll show you how to join the last stitch with this chain stitches on the edge here. The important thing is that these 2 chain stitches are for the height, so we leave them untouched. Now we need this 3rd one here. You almost can't see it anymore because it has contracted again at the edge. Sometimes we need a bit of patience and have to make sure that we get under both stitch links again. So we fold the thread over again. So we have here 1 V down here and the 2nd V above it. And the 3rd one sits on top of here. That means I have to get under this 1st stitch piece here and then under the second stitch part. Take your time. That can sometimes be really difficult, but we've done it. We have both stitch links on the hook again, and we get the yarn, pull it through both stitch links. We have 3 loops on the hook again. So we make our double crochet and we close the chain. And so another row of double crochets is formed. In the second part of the video, I show you how to add variety to your work. Double crochets look very nice, but sometimes you want to have some variation, and so I show you how to crochet windows instead. For this, we need our stitches again. So, one, 2, and 3 chain stitches. We turn our work. So we need the 3 stitches for the height. It's a bit spongy at the side at first, but that will go away after we made our first windows. I'll explain it to you now. To crochet windows, we now skip every second stitch without crocheting. To be able to do this, we always have to crochet a cross brace. And we do this with a very simple chain stitch. So now we have our small stitch here, and we crochet an air stitch to it, which is here above the second small stitch. And then we make our first double crochet into the 3rd stitch from the beginning. We turn the yarn over, go through the upper stitch length and have 3 loops on the hook again. Take off 2 and take off 2. And so we crocheted our first window. So always just in every second stitch. Skip every second stitch. So we crocheted this stitch here, so we need a chain stitch at the top for the next one. Fold the yarn over and leave this one out and go through to the one after it. Make a double crochet and close the chain. So we've already made 2 windows. Again, 1 chain stitch. Fold the yarn over, not into the one next to it, but one further. Get the yarn from the back, 3 loops on the hook, make the double crochet and close the chain. And this is what our little windows look like. It looks quite nice just to have a change between inside and to have some variation in your works. I'll quickly finish the row now and then we'll see each other again at the end. And this is what our work looks like at the end. Double crochet and windows. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss a new video. Keep your yarns crossing and have fun with your projects.